Hi everyone and welcome back to part 4 of colouring a huge horror poster. Today we're doing Pennywise. I'm using Tuscan Red and Crimson Lake for all of the red bits. And there's not that many red bits on this actually. I had more of a vision in my mind that there was more red on this character, but there isn't really. So we're just going through at the moment doing all of the facial features that are in these reds. Now there are also some little pom-poms on the front of his costume, which we're going to do in the same reds, and some pom-poms on his shoes. So that's really all the red that there is apart from the balloon. For this, I'm splitting the balloon into 3 parts. I'm using Crimson Lake for the darkest red, then Scarlet Lake for the medium red, and a bit of Carmine Red for the light bits. This is the reference photo that I was looking at and what I was trying to achieve with the shading. I could have gone for a very bog standard highlight in the top right hand corner, dark colours down the left hand side, but I did want to try and do something a little bit more realistic with the balloon. It didn't turn out fantastically. It's still good, I like it, but it's not as smooth as I thought it was going to be. But obviously we're working with this paper surface that just doesn't like to blend, which we know already, and I need to get over it and just carry on and make the best of it. So it turned out okay. I'm pretty happy with it. Now I move on to the costume itself, which was, to be honest with you, very tedious. I was using all of the French greys and then the eggshell colour over the top, because if you look at his costume, I think it was meant to be white, but then it went grey and then it kind of yellowed. So that was what I was aiming for, something that looks like it used to be white, but it's got kind of dirty and it started yellowing with age. So all the French greys and then the eggshell colour. So why was it tedious? Because there were so many little tiny folds, little finicky areas that I had to try and get a blend going in, which wasn't easy, and it was just too fiddly. So I didn't really enjoy colouring his costume, but I do like how it came out. The colours are pretty much exactly how I wanted them to look, and when you put all the lines back in and define it up, it doesn't actually look too bad. I think it was because I was trying to get these tiny blends looking perfect, and it just wasn't going to happen in the small amount of space that we had. So once I'd put the line art back in with the black pen, it looked a lot better, and the folds seemed to make more sense than just a big mishmash of greys. So just carrying on with all the little tiny bits. I didn't think too hard about the sleeves. I just wanted to get some sort of variation on there. Didn't want to spend too long being extra nitpicky with it. So onto the bottom of the costume now. As you can see, this just seems to take forever, and it did. I don't want to moan though. I love the finished result. So it was just one of those things where you constantly put in the same colours on again and again and again, and then you're having to try and blend. But that's just the nature of this costume. For the shoes, I used sepia and black, and then I think a little bit of the 50% French grey as well. Wanted it to look a little bit deeper and darker than the costume, but still have that brownish old look to them. Then used some of the lighter French greys to fill in the centre of the shoe. Using the 20% and 30%, no, that's incorrect, the 10% and the 20% cool grey for the hands and for the skin. So I'm putting that 20% cool grey all over the little wrinkles and cracks of his skin, and then going over it with the 10% cool grey, much like I did on Captain Spaulding's face, just to smooth it out a little bit and not just have the white of the paper showing. We've got neon yellow in the eyes, and I think that is really effective. It really makes them pop and stand out and look very piercing. And I did a little bit of yellow on the teeth as well, just to show that he's a bit grim. Now for the hair. So I decided to use burnt ochre, goldenrod, and I think there was a little bit of yellow ochre just on the tips as well. I didn't want it to be as orange and bright as Chucky's hair, and I think that was the right decision. I think this is more a Pennywise hair colour than the Chucky one being bright orange. So just adding back in all my lines, and then we're on to the text using the Tuscan Red to fill in the bottom half of all the letters. Then I tried to do a bit of a blend with white and it didn't work out. So I went back in with the Crimson Lake and just did a little blood red fade on the letters. And then of course for the edge of the bubble, I'm doing the same thing as I did on the others, so the 10% cool grey, just to give it a bit of definition. And then he was finished. So I really do like the end result. I hope you do too, and I will see you on the next one.